This video will outline how to create a multi-project invoice in Gate 3. There are several prerequisites that are required before you can create a multi-project invoice. Ensure all the companies and contacts you will be using have been associated to your project. The project financial modules must be set up. Cost codes and budget lines must be populated and linked to one another. Ensure that the tax table has been configured in the Invoice Settings module. The tax table contains the taxes that will be used across the Gate 3 system in the Purchase Order Invoice, Contract Management, Billing, and Changes module. Multi-project invoices, also known as corporate invoices, are created to track costs related to multiple projects and overhead accounts within a single invoice. Multi-project invoices are created from the Gate 3 home at the corporate level as a corporate function. When you log into Gate 3, the default view is Gate 3 Home. From here, you can see multiple project documents, activities, and create projects as well. The Start menu is used to access the Gate 3 modules. Your access level is controlled by your project role. To begin entering a multi-project or corporate invoice, click Start from the Gate 3 Home level. Navigate to the Purchase Orders Invoices module. Click the New Menu button to begin the process of creating an invoice. Select the Corporate Invoice option from the drop-down. Fill in the necessary information throughout the sections. Fields with an asterisk are mandatory in order to save the document. Click the Edit hyperlink to select a project company or vendor. Use the filter text boxes to narrow your search by company name. This list only displays the companies associated to your project. If you cannot find the vendor, you will be required to associate the company and contact to your project. Once you find the vendor, select the radio button, then click Select Highlighted Company. Enter a paying company internal code. As a reminder, entering a paying company code will automatically populate the Bill To subsection of the invoice. For example, if the invoice is coded to 5 different jobs that are for the Calgary area, then the accountant would use Company 18 because that is the company that relates to Calgary jobs. This also holds true for Edmonton jobs. Edmonton is usually Company 18 as well. The tricky part is when you get into Ontario because we can have many different job numbers and they can come out of many different Ellis John bank accounts. For example, paying company code A, B, J, etc. So if out of the 6 jobs, 4 of them were Company J, 1 was A, and 1 was B, then as best practice, use Company J as the paying company. The paying company for a project can be found in the Project Profile section of Gate 3 under Other Information, also available in AS400. Enter the invoice number. Keep in mind that dashes and special characters are not permitted as this is an FMS AS400 validation. Select the date of invoice. As a reminder, when entering an invoice number for an FER, ensure it's the initials of the individual followed by the date and followed by FER for financial expense report. Take note, any invoice from an active FMS job is still entered into FMS, not Gate 3, and any overhead invoice not related to a job cost continues to be entered into FMS. Enter the total invoice amount, including taxes, if applicable. You have the option to select the default tax type in this section if the tax is the same for all the line items. You also have the option to override the tax on a line item basis for items that are tax exempt. This will be mentioned once again when we get to the line items. Select a tax to type if applicable. Click the Add Attachments hyperlink. A backup of the invoice must be attached in order to save the invoice document. Browse your computer to search and locate the vendor invoice and any supporting documentation. Multiple files can be attached to one invoice. Click Open to upload the file to Gate 3. A default line item is displayed. Fill in the editable fields, select a project number for the corresponding charges. Enter either a valid GL account number or enter a cost account and a budget line directly into the corresponding field or click the applicable edit link. Enter the amount, select an ITC category if applicable. Review the tax information. Here's where the tax can be overridden from the default setting for each line item. Select the unit of measure from the drop-down list, then enter the unit, price, and quantity. Enter the item code if applicable, item description, and click Save Line. Take note that the shipping and handling is checked and applied by default. This checked action will break out any shipping and handling charges against all line items added. If shipping and handling charges are not required, you may uncheck the checkbox. Continue adding additional line items as previously shown as necessary. Take notice that the system will inform you of the amount already added and the amount remaining to complete the invoice based on the total invoice amount entered under Invoice Details. Review the invoice summary totals. Make sure the Ship To and Bill To section is completely filled in with the correct information, as the mandatory fields are required to save the invoice. Once you have reviewed the document and all the necessary information has been filled in, you have the option to save the document or save as draft. To save as draft, click on the More drop-down and select Save as Draft. In this demonstration, the Save link will be used. The multi-project invoice has now been saved and has a status of under review. As a reminder, project invoices go to costing for review. Invoices with GL accounts go to costing and accounting for review. To view the invoice in PDF, click on the More drop-down and select PDF. Click on the PDF file to open the file that has been downloaded to your computer. Here's an example of what a PDF multi-project invoice looks like. The invoice is also available from the Invoices view. Select Invoices from the View menu. Search for the applicable invoice using the filter box. Once you locate the invoice, you can either click on the invoice number hyperlink to open the invoice or review the information displayed in the view. As a reminder, a backup of all the invoices must be sent in one attachment to the appropriate email address displayed. You now have a better understanding of how to create a multi-project invoice. This concludes the video. Thank you for watching.